Wow, dude. Is this even working? Yeah. Wow, dude. This Blues team, man. 14 changes. No Bowden. The entire pack has changed. And the 4 packs all changed. The reserve for forwards are on. Akira Ioane was on. Wow, dude. This Blues team. Oh, man. We tend to forget. Sullivan was the starting player for the Blues, I think last season. Yeah. He's now... He can barely make the bench for the Blues team. And only when they rest basically the entire starting team do Sullivan finally get a chance to play at the starting 10 position. And man, he was struggling a bit throughout the game. His kicking game was a bit off, but he clutched it when his team needed him to do so. Man, I was so baffled by that result. I can't even talk properly, man. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, how the Blues was able to hold on in the first half. So, the Blues was under the pump by the Waratahs. They really fronted up some of the key areas. It was pretty clear that the Blues had a look at the study, put some really good study, I guess, some good homework in for the Waratahs. So they really fronted up in the breakdowns. And as a result, the Waratahs, I was expecting to dominate the breakdown with Gamble and Hooper on the field at the same time this week. They were not able to dominate the breakdowns. The Blues was able to, pretty good set pieces. And the scrummaging was one of the surprising thing. I thought the Waratahs having that dominant scrum last week, I thought the Waratahs was going to dominate scrum again this week, especially with Angus Bell, the loose head. But Nipo Laulala was, the Blues scrum was actually something special here. So at one point in the first half, the Blues had 2 yellow cards. Both of the locks get sent off. Yeah, both locks get sent off. And the Waratahs goes, hey, we're pretty good at scrummaging. Has a penalty advantage, right? They opt for the scrum and loses the scrum feed. Like, tied hair scrum. Tied hair won by the Blues. Penalty. Like, basically the Waratahs tied hair prop gets popped out. Instant penalty. I was like, there's no way to get away from that. That was instant penalty. I don't know how that happened. How you could lose a scrum feed to a team that's missing 2 locks. I don't know, but it happened. That was, and then bizarrely, like, the Blues were playing with, so the 2 locks were out at the same time, so the Blues were playing with 13 players, and for some reason, they were able to get a scrum penalty, 2 scrum penalties back to back, during this 10-minute period, and get 3 points on the board from the second scrum penalty. So the first scrum penalty got them out of, like, jail from the Waratahs attack. Second scrum penalty gets them 3 points. I genuinely don't know how this happened. How did the Waratahs not able to score a single point against 13 players? And how did the Blues win this game? They look completely out of it for most of the game, the Blues. And then you can just tell the passion of the players, like the pride on like keeping that winning streak alive. 13 win streak now for the Blues. Just the pride and passion on their craft. The reserve team put it together. Like, when they were attacking in the second half towards the end, the Waratahs looked tired, honestly. Noticeably tired. Noticeably feeling like maybe a bit overconfident. Maybe definitely don't look like they were nearly at the same energy level as the Blues. And the Blues just attack. Waratahs were just conceding territory every time the Blues ran, getting over the advantage line quite easily again and again and again. Nothing fancy was done by the Blues, just good old hard running, and the Waratahs was just going back, and eventually Blues were able to put on 2 tries on the Waratahs late in the second half to put themselves ahead. Waratahs gets a penalty, and then, to level the game, and then the Blues eventually pressure the Waratahs to overtime and gets the drop goal. Is it Sullivan? Sullivan? What is it? What's his first name? Zahn Sullivan gets the drop goal for the Blues. Yeah. I thought there was one thing I did notice on the Waratahs. When the Waratahs did give the ball to Edmund, the number 10, there was a lot of space that was opening up for his, like, when they have, like, a structured play with Edmund involved. But a lot of times, I've noticed this quite a bit, like glaringly. Edmund is in place at a 10 position to receive the ball, and a forward just runs in front of him and takes the ball. Again and again and again, the Waratahs had like a line set up, ready to do something, and again, a forward just cuts in front and takes the option to crash the ball. I thought that was really bizarre. They should have it was almost like they don't trust him with the ball or something, or like they just don't want, like they're too scared to venture into like a backline play, so they just go for the safe option, having a ball forward to crash the ball. I was like getting a bit frustrated watching them. I'm like, yeah, just give the ball to Edmund. He's gonna create some space out wide, and then open up some options for the attack. Nah, the Waratahs just happy to again and again. Edmund is in position, looking like he's calling for the ball, gets cut off by a forward. So I noticed that to be an issue for the Waratahs. And let's have a look at some of the stats, I guess. 2 tries apiece. Waratahs had more run meters, fewer carries. So the Waratahs higher run efficiency with their carries. Just to give you an idea, at halftime, Waratahs already at 211 run meters to the Blues only 129 run meters. Waratah has 56 carries of first half. Blues had 32. So the Blues did do much better in the second half, but man, turnovers conceded 16 overall for the Waratahs, 15 overall for the Blues. At halftime, the Waratahs conceded 11 turnovers. Yeah, that's why they couldn't score points. And then Blues only conceded 6 at halftime. Tackle count, ridiculously good tackle for both teams, but the Waratahs was just not fronting up. It's not the missed tackles that's letting the Blues through. It's they're just not fronting up not fronting up the hard physicality to stop the Blues from getting over the advantage line. So the Blues were just able to constantly, in the second half especially, getting over the advantage line, like just crash over the advantage line, and eventually you get closer and closer to the try line. There's no way to go except for scoring a try, right? So that's basically what happened. There was nothing too fancy from the Blues team. Just crash balls and the Waratahs not fronting up. They, like you can see, the missed tackles 8. That is exceptionally good defense for the Waratahs. 155 tackles to 8 missed tackles. We saw like literally earlier today, the Brumbies missed like 30 tackles out of like 130 tackles, right? So the Waratahs has much better tackle completion rate, but Blues still able to score points. And just to give you an idea, at halftime, Waratahs only missed 3 tackles. Yeah, the Blues missed 12 tackles at halftime. So that's just, one of the things. Kicking game, halftime, Blues was leading the kicking game 16 kicks to 11. And second half, the Blues continue that, I guess they kind of slow down the kicking game a little bit. 22 kicks for the Blues overall. So which means they only did 6 kicks in the second half, 16 in the first half of the Blues. Really, tried that kicking game to manage their, the disadvantage in the first half. The Waratahs, 11 in the kicks in the first half, 19 in the second half. And, poorly managed, I feel like. Goal kicking, pretty good overall. 1 drop goal for the Blues. The penalty count, the lineouts. Oh my god, this was horrendous for both teams. Waratahs lost 2 lineouts overall. Blues lost 4 lineouts. So the Waratahs did much better in the lineout front against the Blues, but it's a scrum. That's the thing that was really bizarre. 1 scrum loss for the Waratahs. I think it was 2, in fact. But anyway, 1 scrum loss for the Waratahs against a Blues 4-pack without locks. 13 players on the field without locks. Yeah, I was just complete technical issue from the scrummaging, the packing of the scrum, the angle that the scrum was, the tight head prop was going at really didn't work out for the Waratahs. He popped himself out quite early in the scrummaging, resulted in losing a really critical scrum in the first half for the Waratahs. Found only the discipline. 12 penalties conceded for the Waratahs, 10 for the Blues. The penalty conceded count was 6 apiece at half time. So the Blues only conceded 4 penalties in the second half. The Blues did consider 2 yellow cards in the first half due to repeated penalties and a high tackle. But yeah, overall, Michael Hooper did able to get away with, I thought it was 2 yellow cards, at least in fringes. He put a bit of a high shoulder onto the player. The referee says that was chest to shoulder. It was chest to chest, like shoulder to chest. And it was the ball carrier that kind of like ran into Hooper's shoulder. Yeah. And then he did a deliberate knock on, no yellow card. Okay, so I don't know how Hooper got away with it, but he got away with 2 yellow card offenses on the field in the first half. But the Blues weren't so lucky. 2 yellow cards, 1 for repeated penalties and 1 for a high shot tackle on a player. Yeah. In fact, both of them were for high shot tackles, but the second high shot was just like a seatbelt tackle. It wasn't really like a shot, just a seatbelt tackle. But it was too many penalties conceded in the danger zone. The referee gave that a penalty. So yeah, let's have a look at the game. There's not too much that happened this game, but we can go through some of these interesting stuff. Like I said, 13 minutes into the game, it looked like Michael Hooper had a deliberate knock on. He tries for an intercept and completely missed the ball. And I thought, and he was offside as well. So the referee just penalized him for offside. So just deemed that a knock on. Essentially, the deliberate knock on was just a knock on, and the referee giving an offside penalty instead. I thought that should have been a yellow card, to be really frank with you. I thought he got away with that one. The Blues opts for a 3-point attempt. They miss. So they're tasked off the hook to lose 3 points at the beginning of the game. And then, literally 2 minutes later, Hooper gets involved with a high tackle. The referee deemed that the ball carrier rammed his shoulder into Hooper's chest and head hit Hooper's shoulder. Yeah, you'd slam your head into Hooper's shoulder. That's what happened. Okay, so no penalty, no yellow card for Michael Hooper. 2 yellow cards avoided. Yeah. Anyway, on the 25th minute, the Waratahs feeling the ascendancy, putting a lot of pressure on the Blues. They had a penalty that's really kickable right in front. Not going for the penalty, going for a 5-meter line out. And maybe because they put so much pressure on themselves, it looked like they were just trying maybe a bit too hard. Like I said, they had a backline set up, and they just kept getting the forwards to ramming down through. They were just piling in, but they were not able to get a try. But they did get a penalty advantage from the maul. So they go for another line out, set up another maul, not getting through again, and the Blues was getting penalized for collapsing the maul again. There was a high shot on Gordon. One of the Blues players gets a yellow card. This was the lock. Luke Romano, is that his name? The number... No, Angus... No, yeah, Angus... No, wait. Wait, what? Yeah, Luke Romano. Yeah, that's right. Luke Romano, pretty sure it was him, gets yellow carded, and then, for a high shot, and then this time referee's you are under a warning, no more penalties, you're in the danger zone. So the Waratahs goes for another 5-meter line out, goes for another maul, the number 16 hooker peels off, another high seatbelt tackle on the hooker. But this time the referee deemed that the seatbelt tackle was not it was not a high tackle, just a seatbelt. So then it was just a penalty, but there was too many penalties. Akira Ioane gets sent off for this infringement. So the Blues are down 2 locks in 2 minutes, within the 2 minute on the clock, right? So both players are now in the bin, and then with 13 players on the field, Waratahs still had an advantage. 5 minutes out from the Blues try line. Waratahs goes, "Hey guys, let's go for a scrum with the other team have no locks." They packed down the scrum. Obviously, the Blues had to put a winger on the lock on the flanker position. This scrum, man. It looked like the blue scrum was going forward. Yeah. And then it happened. The Waratahs tight head prop pops his head out. He stands up like a sore thumb. And then the referee's just like, well, I have no excuse but to penalize you for standing out, for popping out in the scrum. Yeah. The task, I don't know how that happened, but this was really, really well done by the Blues. Just complete dominance. So then the Blues kick the ball out, finally diffuses the pressure, and then they were just trying to, just trying to put a bit of the pressure out. And then on the 35th minute, Blues, there was I think this was a Waratahs feed actually. But it was a Blues knock on. Or maybe it was Blues forward pass. It was either a knock on, I think it was Blues forward pass, or maybe it was a knock on. But anyway, there was a scrum just inside the Waratahs 40, so like just about 40 meters out, just inside the Waratahs half. And the scrum packs down. The referee instantly puts his hand up and says that the Waratahs tight head prop, the same prop that got penalized for popping up, engaged early. Full arm penalty, and Blues takes this penalty, 3 points lead, go into halftime with 2 players still in the bin. Oh no, wait, sorry, the players are back now, I think, just returning. 2 players still in the bin. Wait, is it? No, 2 players just returning. Okay, so I don't know. After this penalty was kicked, the 2 players came back onto the field, but halftime score 0 points to 3. Blues lead. This was so weird. Second half starts 5 minutes in the second half. There was early penalties to the Blues again, against the Blues again. The Waratahs goes for a 5-meter line out, goes for a more crash ball. Breakdown penalty to the Blues. No try for the Waratahs. 50th minute. Finally, the Waratahs gets a line out. Another more set up the platform that they wanted. The ball comes out. Instead of crashing the ball constantly like a bunch of headless chicken, they threw the ball out to Edmund. Loops behind the ball to Peach. Peach long pass to Nawanga Nitawasi. Like wide open space out wide. Goes in for the try. Just that easy. Okay, like 7 points to 3. And you wonder why they keep getting the forwards to run the ball. And then on the 57th minute, another try from Nawanga Nitawasi. The Waratahs are able to get some really good line breaks, getting ready into the Blues danger zone, into the 22-meter area. And they're getting really close to the try line. Again, they're just pounding the try line with crash balls again. And finally, they decide to spread the ball out wide. Again, just good hands to Edmund. Edmund just hands down the sideline. Hooper was in it. Good hand. Just pass the ball all the way to the winger. Nawanga Nitawasi gets the ball. He runs in. He gets taken. He's about to get taken out of the sideline. He jumps up in the air, floating in the air, dunks the ball into the corner for a try. This was picture perfect finish for Nawanga Nitawasi. And again, as soon as the Waratahs spreads the ball, utilizes the back line, they just look unstoppable, right? Like 2 tries pretty much back to back, just basic backline plays. And they just don't do it. They just keep getting the forwards to crash the ball. And a lot of small errors that's occurred now for the Blues. Sullivan was on the field, was kicking the ball out on the full. It was looking pretty bad. He was having a rough time there. He hasn't played for a bit now. And then on the 65th minute, the Blues gets a nice 5 opportunity for a 5 meter for a line out, for basically a 5 meter line out. They throw the ball into the far pot. The ball pops down. Akia Urani loops around, runs into the 10 channel, gets tackled a bit short, and then Sua Foa picks and go, bang, crashes over for a try for the Blues. And then suddenly the Blues is up claws himself back 10 points to 14. Despite being like pummeled for 60 minutes, suddenly Blues back 10 points to 14. And then on the 72nd minute, again, a lot of penalties against the Waratahs. The Blues were able to get into the Waratahs 22. They set up a really good maul that went like 15 meters, didn't get to score. And then followed that, but the Waratahs was given away a penalty. Eventually, the Blues tries to do another line out, gets that line out stolen, and the Waratahs clears the ball out. So the Blues had to do another like retake of the line out outside of the Waratahs 22 sort of thing. And then what the Blues did, it's crash ball. The line out comes in, crash ball, nothing fancy, and the Waratahs not fronting up the tacklers. Okay. And the Blues went from outside of the Waratahs 22 all the way to like 5 meters out on the Waratahs try line. And then Luke Romano gets the ball, just rammed himself through another defender. Like literally, he rammed himself through a defender. He didn't even step him. They call this the Samoan step. He runs straight over a defender, goes in for the try. I was so disappointed by the Waratahs defense. Technically, they did not miss a tackle, but they were just giving away territories, allowing the Blues to get over the advantage line again and again and again by not fronting up the defense. So, yeah, Romano goes over. Suddenly, the Blues are ahead, 17 points to 14. Yeah, and then things get a bit weird, right? The Waratahs was like, okay, we're gonna try, win this game, at least try to draw. So, like, a few minutes later, there was a lot of, what do you call it? Let me see what happened. I'm just gonna have to... Yeah, so basically, the Waratahs were finally able to get inside the Blues half again. On the 77th minute, Waratahs finally get a desperately needed scrum penalty. And there was right in front. Edmund slots this one. 17 points apiece. The commentators are talking about going to golden points, extra time. And I had a feeling that the Blues probably not going to let that happen. So, the kickoff. Blues kicks off deep into Waratahs 22. Jake Gordon gets the ball. I felt like he could have kicked a bit better with this return kick. He was just inside the 22. He kicked it basically out of the 40-meter line. So he basically gained 20 meters on the kick. I feel like he rushed it. Like, he was like center of the field. So he had quite a bit of distance to go to the sideline. What he should have done is crash the ball a couple times, get himself in a better position, and then gone for a kick that should have landed inside, would have gone out inside the Blues half from, like a proper kick that goes into the Blues half, out inside the Blues half. So the Blues have to do a line out inside their own half. Instead, he gets the kickoff, he rushes the kick, and only gained about 20 meters, right? And the ball is still inside the Waratahs half. When I saw this kick, I was like, damn it, he rushed it. And I was like, this is... Basically, the Waratahs was just giving away territory every time the Blues crashed the ball at them. I could see the writing on the wall here. I tell you that. I thought, yeah, this game is over. The Waratahs was going to lose this one. I could see the writings on the wall. Unless the Blues, dropped the ball or something. All they had to do is run at the Waratahs. And the Waratahs was just conceding territory and, non-stop. And basically, the Blues just... Every time they ran the ball, Waratahs giving away 5 meters, 3 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters. And then eventually the Blues was really, really close inside the Waratahs 22. Sullivan deep in the pocket. Ball goes to him. Perfect drop goal. And this was a huge drop goal, really high, straight down the line. This was a much better drop goal than the one Bowden did last week. And I was speechless, man. I was speechless. I was literally could not believe what I saw here. This was... I can't believe the Blues is this good. 20 points to 17. Beat a full-strength Waratahs team away in New South Wales. Without Bowden Barrett, without the entire starting team, basically. Man. Let me know your thoughts if you watched this game. Thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate it. And like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys a bit later tonight and then tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend.